Hello, good people of the internet. What is up, all you nerdy people? Yeah, my name's Josh. This is Bonus Stage. You all know what the hell this is. And we are here tonight for yet another Let's Listen. I'm so happy that these are kind of on a weekly basis lately. It's been really fun just to get back in the seat and get things going this year. And tonight, we are here to talk about, listen to, and celebrate the release of PAK, the classic Sega tribute album featuring oh my god, mirror mode here. Joe, also Tuck, aka Biggoron, also Kev Ragone on the drums. Hey, what is going on, you three in unison?
Not much. We are excited to be here.
That's right.
There's the hive mind speaking out of all of your mouths at once. Yes. Thanks. Awesome.
Eric's commenting on your ponytail right off the gate.
Oh, yeah. Oh, well. Yeah, that is a ponytail. All right. Well, we're not here to talk about me, Eric. At least not yet. Not yet. I don't know. I don't have any plans to talk about myself. I do have plans to talk about the six-track EP full of classics from the Sega. I almost said franchise from Sega games. It's actually across quite a few franchises. You guys have got, a good healthy mix of tracks from lots of different games. You've also got quite a lineup of collaborators on this as well. So to start things off, I just kind of want to ask generally, what was the central idea that brought all of this together?
Well, yeah. I think it was at the very end of 2022. Game Grooves talked about having like an EP challenge where they would, try and just rally people together to just create. And Alan was basically like, "Yeah, you guys bring the material, we'll put it up on Sound Drop, we'll get it out there for you." And I was like, that sounds like fun. It's kind of a challenge. It gives us a deadline. And the rules were it had to be a collaboration. It had to have at least at least two primary arrangers. And I don't know. I was trying to find some ideas, stuff that could be licensed. I started off with a like an idea of a Nights into Dreams type EP, but after looking at it for a while, I was like, what if we just expand on that and just do some classic Sega tracks? So we did keep some of that original idea in the final thing, but so I just started looking through songs and bounced them off of Joe, and then we ran into Kev at Mag West and said, "Hey, you want to come and play on this a little bit?" And then he ended up playing on the whole thing. So that's basically how it came down.
Right on. That's awesome. Joe or Kev, anything you want to add to that?
Well, yeah, when they asked me to join and they said it was classic Sega jams, it was like, hell yeah, it doesn't get any better than that. I think a lot of people would agree. Like, that classic Sega stuff it grooves, it's funky, it's awesome. Yeah. So, yeah. And when they told me, yeah, and then when they told me a couple of the songs that they wanted to do from the different games, it's like Streets of Rage, like, all right, that's my favorite franchise in terms of game music. Sonic, hell yeah. And then a couple I wasn't familiar with. There's a Racing Hero track on that. I didn't really know that one, but it's an awesome song. It's great to.
Yeah, no one does. That's the fun.
Yeah. So There's some favorites in there, and then there's some new ones for everyone. So.
Well, I do love a good healthy mix.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, we all collaborate very frequently on Dwelling of Duels. There's often jokes about Tuck and my bromance and how you put us together and do classic Sega, good things tend to happen. So we're like, okay, yeah, let's do an EP of that, and that's kind of what this is. It's kind of just like, yeah, let's see what happens when we just do our love for Sega together and get some of those nostalgic feels and do something that is kind of for everybody who likes and is nostalgic for Sega, and see how it turns out.
Yeah, definitely. How did you guys come about with the track selection? Because there are quite a few deep cuts on here and some nice favorites as well, of course. But was that just kind of like, here's our bucket list of songs that we want to do, let's pick 6, or what was that like for your guys' end?
Oh, for me, it was very simple. Like when, based on the restrictions, it needed to be something that could be licensed. And so I started, instead of like, I was getting really frustrated trying to find songs I liked and see if they were licensable. And, it's like hit or miss. So I just kind of went to Spotify or whatever and just like look and see what Sega had available. And which is quite a bit, actually, even the old stuff. And I went from there, and I just picked out tracks I liked, and it was like, what hasn't been beaten to death, or what can we put a kind of a different spin on, and what's just really good, and that's kind of what it came down to. I think the only one, there was one that I had in mind. It was a track off of, I think, Sonic CD, that we kind of bounced back and forth, and we were kind of like, I think I was like, yeah, and Joe was like, I don't know. But he had a better song in mind, and then Racing Hero was really weird because it just wasn't a compilation of motorcycle songs, but we'll get to that later, I guess. And yeah, that's basically what it came down to.
Yeah, I think initially we're going to do Rystar, but it's like really hard to license Rystar. I think we were definitely like learning the hard way of like, oh man, that song's not licensable and this one is. And but I think our general approach was the more obscure the song, the more we wanted to do it and to sort of bring it to the world, and then the more well known the song, the more weird we got with the arrangement. So you'll kind of see that as we go through it.
Yeah, I was gonna say if Chemical Plant was on there, I would not be on the project. I would say to death. No thanks. But it wasn't, so I was on board.
It would have been a really weird version of Chemical Plant if we did it.
It would have had to. It would have had to have been, or else I would have signed off. See ya. Yeah.
Stand your ground, Kev. I appreciate it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, no, but yeah, it starts with that Outrunners
it?
tune, which is it starts with that Outrunners tune, which is in Outrun. So it's in a couple of games, but it's a pretty familiar song. But I always love that song, and it's a real thrill to play. It's so upbeat and all that. So I guess that was kind of like a setup, but yeah, I love Outrun and Outrunners, and especially this song. It's really fun.
Wow. I think that's where we start listening to the album then. I don't know if you guys agree.
Let's do it.
Right on.
Let's get into it.
Right on, guys. Yeah, we got Passing Breeze from Outrunners and also Outrun and anything else in the Outrun franchise, basically.
Exactly, right, yeah.
All right, well, you guys know how to take this, folks. Let's
listen.
Go!
Damn, that is amazing. Yeah, just coming strong right out of the gate. That's beautiful. You guys really captured that Sega energy. Great production, great sound. And now we are joined by Jabo, who contributed some electronic guitar to that track. That was amazing.
That's right. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me, guys. It was a lot of fun. Always an honor to play with much superior musicians.
Wow.
No.
I don't know. I think it sounded like you guys were all on kind of even footing there. Compliment to you, Jabo. Take the compliment.
Oh, thank you so much. Well, it's a lot easier to play like to a higher skill level when the source material is excellent and you also have an arrangement that really gels. And I mean, the three of you is such an awesome combo, and it's, you know, when I got asked to, it's like this track was kind of a standout one for me. It's like exactly my style, so very happy to join in.
Right on.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we were glad to have you on that. I love the rhythm guitar. That's exactly what the song needed. You know, someone just kind of going for it that whole time.
Yeah, I was doing my best, worst Corey Wong impression that entire time.
No, it was great.
Perfect.
Thank you.
It was amazing. Yeah, you came in and you just went way above and beyond. I think I asked him for solo, and he's like, "Hey, can I just do rhythm?" And then he gave me this thick, like 4 different tracks or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a lot, and it was great. So, yeah, we're really glad to have him on.
Yeah, thanks a lot,
it's always
guys.
fun when we can do the sort of simulated trading thing.
Yeah. It felt reasonably natural when I heard the final take. I was like, oh, you could be in the next room, you know?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh yeah, you have the benefit of thinking through how you're going to do it in advance. But I think that's the idea is kind of making it sound like a full band. And hey, maybe one day we'll get to play it as a full band.
Yeah, give me like 2 years and maybe I might have a little trip.
Yeah, fair enough.
Be awesome, man.
Yeah, I saw Ian had commented on the synth bass, which that was my thoughts too. I think Tuck, you handled the synth bass on that, right?
Yeah.
Love the synth bass on that track. And I remember when we were finishing the track and like kind of mixing it and everything, I was like, this one is all about that synth bass, like 350 hertz, like give me that. And
he keeps it going, man. And that's all like Takanobu Mitsuyoshi, man. He because that was his take on the original Passing Breeze, you know. So it's very much Daytona USA energy coming into this, and especially in the solo section, those chords. Fell in love with them, and that was definitely the version of the song that we had to do.
Awesome.
Right. So then, Tuck, that makes you the Outrun OST expert in the room here. Is that right?
No. I just found that one on, like I said, I found it on Spotify. It was part of like the Outrun collection, and I was in the Outrunners game, and I was shocked to find out that's not even the version from the game. It was actually an arrangement that he made for this collection, and it was like the one from the game, but like better. It had that solo section added, so I was like, yeah, this is. It did all the work for me. It just kind of ran with that.
Well, no credit to us. All credit to Takanobu Mitsuyoshi for his composition.
Yep. Always.
It was good. Yeah, I've seen. So I was when we were talking about doing this one. I have a thing where if I've heard a really good version of a really good cover of a song, I'm like less inclined to do it. And so Super Soul Bros cover Passing Breeze. They haven't recorded it, but they do it, occasionally live. And I was like, well, if we're going to do it, we have to be very, very synthy about it so that we can kind of do it in our own sort of way. And Tuck was like, yeah, I can handle that. The other thing that was kind of interesting about this track, and this is going to be a running theme for any saxophone aficionados in the audience. So a lot of so originally the intent was to only play tenor sax on the whole EP. That you can hear tenor sax on every song, but what we quickly discovered, on some tracks faster than others, is that just sometimes the alto just sounds better. It's just brighter. It's more sunny and happy. And what we ended up doing for a lot of songs, including what you just heard, was double tracking tenor and alto together. So it's totally different notes because they're different transposed instruments, but they're mixed together, and it kind of has a cool. It's sort of like double tracking guitars, and then you get that interesting, bigness to the sound. It's also, way harder to play some of those lines on tenor than on alto because they're really high. So I left them in because it was so hard to get them that I didn't want to get rid of them.
Oh man, yeah, the solo was tight on that one, and I'm looking forward to hearing a lot more tight solos as well. Oh man, what about the nostalgia factor? Who's here has the big nostalgia over Outrun? Kev?
No, I was going to say that's a good question. I mean, I played Outrun a little bit as a youngster, but it wasn't until later where like that soundtrack really hit me. The full every track on that is just instant classic. So it doesn't hit me a nostalgia factor, but always wanted an opportunity to cover the songs. So that was one of the things that drew me into this project instantly. I think they said Outrun, and I was like, I'm in.
Yeah.
Say no more.
Chemical Plant Zone.
No.
I didn't have this one.
That's right.
I didn't play any of the Outrun games as a kid, but I did have Daytona USA, and just that I don't know, that era, the sunshine, racing, palm trees.
Yeah.
It's like it covers a great many games, and if you play one, it just feels familiar and it feels nice to go back every time.
Yeah.
Outrun's hard though.
Yep.
It's really hard.
Yep. Yeah.
As many of you know, I live in California, so that is actually what it looks like
when you drive.
It's just reality.
Just that parallax effect on the horizon.
Yeah, beautiful blonde woman by my side. That's my daily commute.
In your Lambo, yeah.
Yeah.
New Lambo Newman. Wow. All right. Are we ready to move on to track number 2 then? I feel like we're petering out here
let's
a little
go.
bit. All right. Well, I've never played Nights Since Dreams. I just know the aesthetic a little bit. So I'm really excited because I also haven't been exposed too much to the soundtrack. So I'm really happy to hear Nights and Riala. What the heck is Riala? Because I thought that was a typo for like reels, and it still looked weird.
It's short for reality. We figured that out when we were making it. It kind of was just like one of those moments, boom, like Riala. Yeah.
Is that true?
Big brain moves.
Is that true?
That's the name of the character.
Okay.
Nice, like evil twin doppelganger. Anyway, we'll listen to it.
Thank you for the real answer. Yes, awesome guys. All right, here's Nights and Riala. Let's
listen.
Oh, make it happen.
Let's make it happen. Oh my god. Hot dang. Just keeping that energy up. Holy shit. This is amazing. I usually get into games these days by the music, so I feel like that is kind of driving me to play some Nights into Dreams. But maybe for myself and for the other plebs in the audience, what is Nights into Dreams like? What's the game like?
I can't answer it.
Has anybody here played the game? Because this comes up all too often. Oh my god!
Whenever I'm at MagFest and there's like the one Sega Saturn in the console, like it usually has Nights, and I'm like, oh, I'll give this a try. And it's interesting. It's like you're flying around and like doing loops and collecting orbs. It's kind of arcadey. But there's this weird dynamic where you transform into Knights, which is like the character who flies around and everyone knows. And then you just also control a random kid. And the idea is there's this like dichotomy of like the waking world and the dream world. And so like I think and somebody who's played it can kind of help me, but I think the idea is you switch between, you want to collect enough stuff as a kid so that you can then transform into Knights, into the dream world, and
into supersonic.
Sort of dichotomy of it. That's as far as I know. And then Rayala is like the evil twin doppelganger of Knights, and they have a fight, and this is the song that plays during their fight.
Nice. Yeah, that is hot. Does Rayala have like a goatee? Because that's like a typical.
Rayala has some weird voice clips. Actually, weren't we thinking about using?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, and I haven't played it either. It is on Steam. I have it in my library, but it's just there. Honestly, if it's not on my Switch, I'm probably not going to play it. But I think a lot of the Knights aesthetic and the gameplay elements and stuff was emulated really well in the Freedom Planet games. And I have played that one. So a lot of the music, a lot of the looks, and just the overall feel of it.
Carrie, people in the chat are mentioning they made a Wii sequel, or at least like another one. And I remember seeing that and being interested in it. But it's got that little trippy dream energy to it.
That is super cool.
Yeah, the song was a blast to play. My heart is still racing just listening to that, remembering drumming that track and just freaking going all out for it. And that one was like a one take and done. I don't know. I didn't play the game just like everybody else here, but but that song is really awesome, and the arrangement was so cool and like right up my alley. That like once I heard it was like, I think it was Tuck was like, here, I have some drums in here. I'm not too sure what to do. I was like, I know what to do, and I guess that's what you guys heard. There's some tambourines, some claps. There's a part where there's like this super compressed drum kit in there. I was like, this needs like a weird kind of like 90s drum break. And whatever the plugin I had on that part was like some sort of 90s just, preset. And it was perfect. So it was like, that one just like fell into place like in like a half hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy.
That of all of the tracks on the EP, I feel like this one had the most interesting backstory, because Kev's part like totally fell into place, and then everything else like kind of didn't until like the very last minute. Like this was, again, I mentioned I wanted to play everything on tenor, and it just sounded really, really, really bad on just tenor, because it's just so high. But this is actually where the idea to start double tracking not only came to be, but also started to become sort of coincidentally or luckily like thematically appropriate. So what we decided was like, oh, actually, it'd be really cool if the tenor and the alto were Knights and Rayala respectively, right? So that they were mirroring each other in the music. And then if you listen, like it actually has them splitting apart and clashing back into each other because they're in the stereo image. They get further and further apart, then they clash back in. And again, it's, we stumbled into it, but it ended up being actually kind of a really neat sound to have, those two saxophones playing the same notes, but having slightly different timbres because they're different saxophones, and having them sort of playing off of each other in that way. I don't know. I thought that ended up being something that I really like about this track in particular.
I didn't really notice that. Let's run it back. Let's play it again.
All right. Let's go. Let's restart.
No. But everyone can do that on their own time when the EP releases tomorrow.
Yeah, Bandcamp Friday.
Oh, yeah.
On Bandcamp
out everywhere.
Friday.
Yeah, one thing I did want to say about the song was you talked about the Wii version. The Wii version has the same song in the soundtrack as the Saturn version. But they have very different like feels to them. And so what I ended up doing was kind of combining what I liked about both into one. So it ends up kind of being true to both, very, very similar to both in a way, but very, very good soundtracks. I can't attest to the games yet, but yeah, the music is definitely worth checking out, and it's all out there. It's easy to find.
Very nice. Oh, man.
So that one we also submitted to Dueling of Duels, which was fun. That was for what generation console? I don't remember. Oh yeah, the 32-bit console. So that was fun. Got top 3, very fun. We also realized after we had submitted it. Doug, do you want to tell the story? Should we not tell the story? Well, no, it's been improved for that. Tell them, Joe. We're like, why does it sound weird in the DoD cut? Because we're all sending our stems and we're all putting things, but the saxes just sounded just like ever so slightly off in a way that we couldn't put our finger on. And I was like, well, Tuck, just send me your session, or like send me the MP3 or whatever. And I put it in and it was like, oh, this isn't lining up. And what we realized is that at some point or another, Tuck's session got changed from, I think it was 140 BPM to 138.87 BPM. Or it was like a fraction of a BPM. And we still don't know how or why. But we fixed it. So in the EP, it's fixed. And now the saxophones are actually where they're supposed to be in time.
Nice. No detuning or anything, though.
No.
Oh,
no. Just be careful if you're working with Tuck. Make sure the BPM is on.
Yeah, sometimes I'll always hold me accountable.
I was losing my mind. I was like, why is I thought my playing was bad. I was
I should have said anything.
Oh yeah, sorry. It was your fault, but I fixed it.
I noticed the shift I was listening to, and I was like, this is like a BPM and a quarter too fast. Not true.
Yeah, I was gonna say
you would. You would.
But we fixed it, and all good.
Fixed it in the mix, yeah.
So don't listen to the DoD version. Listen to the EP version, which is live tomorrow on Bandcamp Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's the unwritten rule of DoD. If it gets released later, don't go back and listen to the DoD version.
Yeah, pay full price for the Bandcamp version, folks. $5 USD or more. Should definitely go on over there and donate $5 or more to these arts. All right, so going from a pretty deep cut into a very popular favorite, we are going to be listening to Mystic Cave Zone next from Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Yeah, love this one. Can't wait to get into it. Anything any three of you want to say to preface our listening to this track?
No, we'll play it and we'll talk.
All right, sounds good, folks. Let's
listen.
Have at it.
Listen.
Hot dang, you really just kind of leaned into the pace of that a little bit. You just kind of
hot here. Woo.
Wow, he's a percussionist, guys. Yeah.
Hot. H-O-T.
Oh man, yeah, indeed. No, but I love the way you just kind of like slowed that down and just kind of leaned into it. Yeah, solid take on a classic. Joe, do you want to talk? Because we were rapping about it backstage.
Yeah. This was so I don't know if we mentioned up front. So of the 3 songs, Tuck arranged 3 and I arranged 3. This was one of my arrangements. It originally Tuck had the idea of like, let's do, you know, West Coast hip hop sort of J-Funk style, you know. I think you sent me a whole bunch of like Tupac references. And, like, do you remember, Tuck? Like, what I had them bookmarked, and the idea was
Public Enemy. That was one. I think it was like some Dr. Dre stuff.
And just
I did actually. I looked to that stuff for the drum inspiration too. That kind of tight hip hop feel. Try to make it sound like samples, but it was all live.
Yeah. You Pumpkin Hill too. Yeah, I get that.
Big inspiration. Yep.
Yeah. So you know, we did that, and we had like this instrumental going, and then I was like, well, should we rap on? Like, should we write lyrics and do a rap? And I was like, okay. I mean, I don't usually write like raps for the sake of raps. Like, I'm not. But anyway, we messed around. I came up with something. And we had a little rap demo. It was fun. It was like a little goofy, but it was kind of, there was, with my mind on my emeralds on my mind. You know, it's a good time. There are lots of sonic puns in it. And then we find out, and this is a bummer of a story, but apparently Game Grooves said you can't license a song with original lyrics. It makes it unlicensable. Which crushing, very disappointed that nobody heard my embarrassing rap. But it's probably for the best that nobody heard my embarrassing rap.
I liked it. I liked it.
The rap version does live. The original demo doesn't have any of the, you know, the scratching or the, you know, the original demo does exist as a DoD alt for I can't remember which month. It's posted. It's in DoD. Just go look. I can't remember which month it is, but the name of the song on DoD is Game Grooves rejected this because the lyrics were unlicensable.
That sounds like an appropriate alt title.
Exactly. But yeah, I mean, this was in retooling it from a rap into an instrumental. It just became kind of more of a solo showcase. It was more an opportunity to get that scratching that Tuck did, which was awesome. For me to do my one synth solo on the whole EP, I got to play a little, pretend to be Tuck for a track and, do the warbly synth. And then
no, what happened was I did a solo and Joe didn't like it, so he said, "Hey, let's use mine instead."
I said, "Okay."
Yeah, his was better anyway.
Tuck's yours was also good. We should put out an alternate version. That's all right. I did stuff you didn't like, but it was. I mean, yeah, it was a little bit more jazzy, like the synth solo that I was trying to do is trying to get a little bit more of the chromaticisms in there. And then we got John Harris, who's part of my jazz combo, Ultra Combo, that plays in Bay Area. And he came over, here in what I call the sax dungeon. And he came and he recorded upright bass, and that's what you hear, and including the bass solo. And it's funky, it's cool. I had never mic'd or produced live upright before, so that was kind of a fun challenge. We had like multiple mics just for safety. We're just like, let's point every mic that we have at it, and then we'll figure it out later.
12 room mics.
Yeah, exactly. So I learned how to edit that, and I think it sounded pretty good. I think it got boomy and
Yeah, good warm mid range on that. Absolutely. Speaking of warm mid range, we also need to credit all three of you, I guess, because you all kind of took a hand in the production and the mixing and mastering of this project as well. Do you want to talk a little bit about that? Like, did you guys kind of like take different roles for different songs, or just kind of focus on one each? How did that all pan out?
I think overall, Joe and I mostly produced everything except the drums on our own tracks. And then I think Joe did mix the drums on a few of his, but Kev actually went ahead and mixed some buses and sent them over my way, and it just worked out better. Because Kev knows exactly what he was intending to come out. And, I mean, honestly, it saves us a lot of time, too, because, I mean, could just drop it in. And then after all was said and done, and we did a lot of back and forth, different things like that, we kind of came down to the wire when it was time to master it. And Kev stepped forward and said, "Hey, let me take a run at it," and just gave us something really, really nice. Kev Ragone does it all. I mean, it's just the way it is.
I mean, he's there on the cover featuring Ragone drums right there.
I love that ESRB little sticker.
Yeah.
But yeah, like Tuck said, Joe mixed half of it, Tuck mixed half of it, and then, when they were all done mixing, I kind of gave it a pass to just give it all a once-over cohesion. Mm-hmm. And I think we're all really pleased with how it kind of sounds like, a cohesive package there.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. But nothing is squashed. Nothing, seems like it's, I can't quite hear the part.
Ooh, thank you.
Yeah. Everything comes out clear, and it's popping too. It really, I said it in chat earlier, but you guys, in the pursuit of the sound that you were going for this EP, you really captured that big Sega energy. Everything's popping out bright and loud and happy and sunshiny.
Thank you, Josh. We did it. We did it.
Right. We can have
It's funny because I have been for so many years absolutely terrified of mixing live drums. I had a DoD track that I worked on a while ago get murdered because of how badly I mixed the drums. It's the worst placement I ever got. And so I was been very intimidated, but like that was kind of my goal for this year, was like learn how to actually, mix drums properly and like, get the EQ curves right. I got very spoiled because like right along the time when I decided I wanted to learn how to mix drums, I got extremely well done drum tracks, very professionally recorded from Kev. I also, I learned with the Super Soul Brothers when I got to work with Anthony Franceschi and his drum tracks, impeccably recorded. That's how you want to learn. You want to learn on stuff that's like already sounds really good, so you don't have to do that much to it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. All those YouTube videos you see are just about like fixing poorly recorded drums. Like, here's a trick, Here's a trick. It's like you can disregard all those tricks if you just get like some clean captures.
If you just get Kev on your track.
Yeah.
And you can get Kev on your track. This man does not stop.
I'm available. No is not in my dictionary, so
we'll just drop your physical address in chat, and then people can go and knock on your door and ask politely about that. No, but
he does have dogs, so I wouldn't do that.
Oh, okay. Well, a dish is only as good as its ingredients, so yeah.
Right. Should we talk about? Okay, so the next one is Starlight, which we'll play straight through. So should we talk about both? We'll quickly. I'll quickly talk about Starlight, and then after it's done, we can talk about the Streets of Rage track. But yeah, all right. So Starlight, that was another one of my arrangements. It was actually the first arrangement that I did immediately after the In the Donk song with the Super Soul Bros. So it was very. I feel like those songs have a lot of shared DNA in terms of like arrangement structure. With a big, you'll hear like there's a big climax at the end and big sax solo thing. It was trying to be a little, so like I mentioned before, like the more well-known the song, the more out there we were allowed ourselves to get with the arrangement. So this, Starlight Zone is like, it's like only like a 30 or 45 second loop, right? In the in the original. And so we were like, all right, so let's turn that into a full, experience. And, we tried to get a little bit EDM-y and disco-y. And there's in the sax solo, you'll hear all sorts of, if you're listening closely, like lots of quotes to other things. Like there's Donna Summer quote in there. There's a Super Soul Bros was on my mind, so there's a Yoshi's Island quote in there. All sorts of fun stuff. Anyway, but yeah, it's this was and then of course the most obvious quote of all, which you'll hear in the breakdown, is one of the songs I'm really nostalgic for, which is Supertramp's "Goodbye Stranger," which I didn't want to spoil it, but I guess we probably should.
Nope, spoiled.
All right. Well, now folks know not to miss it. You got no excuses, folks.
And this will go right into a Streets of Rage track right after that. Streets of Rage 1, the first. So enjoy a combo.
Hell yeah. Let's combo.
Let's
roll.
Act
all right.
Decisively.
So beautiful. So amazing. Awesome job, guys. Yeah. Love the sweep and transition in between there. And banging tracks, both of them. Absolutely.
Oh man, that one was so much fun. That one I heard it, and I think it was Joe that came up with the idea to do like a Streets of Rage track, and I don't know, just sampling different tracks, and that one really stuck to me. And I think they were probably a huge inspiration for Koshiro, but yeah,
Probably.
Ace of Base. It was like 3 Ace of Base songs quoted in that, and The Sign is one of my favorite '90s albums. So I pulled it in very deliberately and intentionally and blatantly. And yeah, it worked out.
That's beautiful.
It's grooving.
I haven't actually played any Streets of Rage myself. Anybody here?
Really?
No. I don't think so.
Totally.
Not like to an extent. Like I might have chucked a quarter in an arcade back in the day, but nothing really beyond that.
You got some homework to do.
I think I had the first one. I had the first one on my 6-pack cartridge as a kid, but I wasn't allowed to play it.
Why weren't you allowed to play it? Too violent?
It's violent, man.
Parents.
Parents
are the worst.
I didn't have a Genesis, but when I had a Dreamcast, which is my favorite console, don't at me, I got a like a Genesis Classics disc thing. Actually, it was more than just Genesis because it also had Virtua Cop on it, I remember. So like it had a bunch of stuff. It had a Ristar or Restar. But yeah, and that was the first chance I got to like really play the classic Sega stuff, and I played Streets of Rage 2, and it holds up amazing. Has not aged a day.
Yeah, I'm authentic and played Streets of Rage growing up. Thank you. Which is not true of like all of those other games we were just talking about now. But yeah, Streets of Rage 2 particularly is probably my favorite soundtrack. So when they brought me on board to, play some drums for this EP, and Streets of Rage, that was actually one where you guys were thinking of having the electronic drums for a while, which would have been cool, kind of fit the vibe. But I think just eventually they were like, all right, just drum it. And
well, I was thinking of it
like
as I was listening to it, I was like, man, this is so well produced. Like, it doesn't, like, not to say it doesn't sound natural, but like it does not sound like a live kit. It does. It's got the pop rate where you want it. Everything's through, crisp, right? Yeah.
Thanks, Josh. Yeah. I tried some different techniques to get that kind of sampled sound, the really dead drums, tune the snare down to barely tension, and deadened it up. And you have to mic the top and the bottom. Tip for any of the drummers out there, because when the snare's tuned so low there, that top mic is just all low end. When you deaden it, there's no high end at all. So you need that bottom mic to kind of boost that high end to get that full snare sound. So got to have 2 mics for that sort of sound. And yeah, it was fun to try some things too throughout the EP, especially on Streets of Rage, to kind of try some different stuff. A little bit of a playground, and it was a lot of fun. I was glad that I was able to provide some live drums for that one.
It was great. Because I had the 909 drums happening that were like very, very true to what was probably trying to be sampled for the original, but also like that whole style, the Ace of Base, the little like 90s Europop style. But once I found out that it was Kev's like favorite series, I was like, yeah, we got to get him on this somehow. And that sound he came up with when I first heard it, I was blown away.
Yeah, just from a production standpoint, being able to get the drums sounding that like you said, that dead, that like locked in groove, like it was incredible. Like Kev, I mean, this I can take very little credit for this track because Kevin and Tuck, it's so grooving, and I just saxed on top of it.
That's kind of the name of the song.
Kept it grooving, huh? The boy has kept it grooving.
Yeah, but don't, Joe. The sax made it, and I mean, just that. I think it was your idea to just slather reverb all over it. Just really set it. It brings back so much nostalgia. It might be the most nostalgic track for me on that album, just because of the way it sounds and the kind of the pop music that was in when I was a kid, but the sax, it brought.
Yeah, this one really leans into that
one.
style. Very stylish.
Yeah, very like super 80s sort of sexy sax thing, which the more I play sax and like DoD and stuff, the more I've sort of come to love the sexy sax sound. It's fun, and there aren't a lot of people doing it, and you can it's kind of corny, but it's also just like really you don't have to play a lot because the tone carries it, right? And then with the added production too, is one of the things growing up playing traditional jazz, like to simplify your phrasing and to focus on your tone instead of your vocabulary is actually, like, I don't know, for me that was a kind of eye-opening to be like, oh yeah, that's really more about how you play the notes than how many you play, or so anyway, that was a learning for me on that, and that was all tenor. I didn't play any alto on that one.
Yeah, we definitely heard the tenor or the alto coming through strong for Starlight Zone there. Great. Good. I'm glad we all agree on that. Cool. Well, that kind of brings us towards the end of this short and sweet EP. We just have one track left to listen to, and that is Racing Hero. Now, every other song that we've listened to tonight has a game credit. Is Racing Hero just the game, and are we listening to the entire soundtrack in one go?
Racing Hero is the game. The official name for this track is BGM1.
Okay, fuck that.
And,
right on. And this one features Ian Cowell as well, and I think he's going to join us.
If we say his name 3 times, he may manifest.
Oh, okay. I mean, only if I add him to the scene, but yeah, I don't know. You could give it a try. We'll see what happens.
Ian Cowell.
Ian Cowell.
Ian Cowell. Ian Cowell.
Oh shit! Nothing happened. Okay, I guess we're good. All right, folks. Well, we're gonna
maybe after the song we'll see.
Got to say his name 3 times and then play a song that he's in. Okay, great.
Okay.
All right, we'll fix it in post. Anyways, here's Racing Hero, folks. Let's.
Oh no! Now he's manifesting. He said in chat he's manifesting.
Oh my god. Okay. Let's listen. Excellent way to close out the album, guys. Yeah, I don't know. It just feels like a finale kind of track. And here to join us and talk about that finale is Ian Cowell, and also Carrie's in the background there. Hi, how's it going?
He lives here, so it's gonna happen. Yeah, it couldn't be like, get the fuck out. Like, we're about to talk about this. Go watch it upstairs.
I can leave.
No, don't. That's great. That's all good.
You're not allowed to talk, Carrie. Just be in chat. Oh, man. Yeah, there it is. Martial art. Beautiful work, everyone.
Thanks,
Awesome
guys.
job on that track. We're still talking about just that track before we get into our final thoughts here. But yeah, Racing Hero. That's a racing game, right?
Yeah, that's what they told me it was.
Yeah, I think
Is it
Yeah.
motorcycles or
It's an arcade
cars
one.
or what?
It's in the title.
it's motorcycles.
Motorcycles?
It
Yeah.
sounds like Sega motorcycles.
Okay, so
Love the
yeah,
music.
so Sega released a collective album called it's like Motorcycle. I don't remember what it's called. Motorcycle something. It's just a bunch of motorcycle games that they didn't feel like were important enough to have their own soundtrack releases, so they just put them all into one big Spotify, iTunes, everything. And so, yeah, it's mostly not that great. Like, a lot of the stuff is just not, including Racing Hero, the game, which is like a late '80s arcade game. I think I remember looking up the composer, and I think it's the guy that composed "Hang On," but I could be wrong about that. Just that one song really, really grabbed me, and I was like, and I didn't even have to really arrange it. It was already arranged like a song. It had like the kind of the opening verse, chorus, and So I showed it to Joe, and Joe was like, "This is just good feelings. This is just serotonin in song form," and I was kind of shocked that nobody had ever really heard of it before, and I hadn't either. I tried to find out more about the game, and there just wasn't much out there.
This is the difference.
Guess it wasn't great.
And this
Guess
is like
it sucks.
this is why I love working with. So like my approach to like VGM, in like a nutshell, is I just mine my own childhood, and like I pick the songs to cover that I grew up listening to and that I love. But Tuck is the opposite. He goes and he hunts, and he finds this amazing music that's been like buried and that nobody's ever heard before, and then he brings these songs to me, and it's like Christmas every time that he messages me.
Yeah.
Because he's just like, oh my god, look at this amazing song that I've had. And exactly like Tuck said, like when he was like, yeah, this is the song. This is a diamond in the rough. Like, it's got these great vibes. It's like such a song that like we don't need to do much to. We just want to bring it to the world and like let it, just have some rockin' ass drums and sax and Yui and guitar on it. And it was great. It was just, it was really, this was, I guess we both kind of jointly arranged this one, but this came at sort of the end of the process, and it was just sort of like, yeah, no, this is going to be our finale. This is our, stage dive moment if we ever get to play it live. Cause then we bring out Ian and he just rocks it, as he did.
Thank you. Yeah, no, that song was great. It was funny, you guys came to me and said, "Oh, this sounds like, something you should play on," and realized like I was gonna give all of you a hard time tonight because Josh and I always, we always joke like no one's played the game, especially in these game group parties.
Yeah.
And like, Carrie or I will like have played the games, and I was like, oh yeah, I played every game on this EP, and then I realized, oh, I've not only never played or heard of Racing Hero, and I think it's the only cover I've been a part of where I don't even know what it looks like. I didn't even look up a screenshot. Like, I hit me listening to you talk about it, like, yeah, I don't know dick about this game. I just know it sounds really good, and it makes me feel really good, and it was a lot of fun to be a part of, but like, it almost felt like it was more of an original composition than this came from something else that found it on Spotify on the license list. Like, it's really good. And it's kind of funny how, it makes you think about the amount of really, really good tunes that won't get discovered because they're attached to, a forgettable or crappy game.
Yeah. Well, good
Until
music
Tuck
can
finds
save
them.
a bad game.
Well, sometimes, but,
For us, maybe. I mean, we're not going to go out and play Racing Hero. I kind of want to now.
I'm looking it up.
Yeah,
It looks like Hang On.
Hey, little
basically.
tribute.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
it's
it looks just like
an
Hang
arcade
On. Yeah.
experience.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know, maybe it prompts somebody to want to go out and play that game, or buy the album of motorcycle VGM tunes that it's from, and
after they buy this album.
This album's cheaper than that album.
That's true. Well, hey, it's licensed, so that. I apologize, I don't know his name off the top of my head, but hopefully he gets a paycheck from this. Support composers of neglected
Sega arcade games.
Hikoshi Hashimoto. That's the name of the composer. Yes.
You rock.
Outstanding. Yeah, killed it with that one.
Wherever you are. Oh God, he's probably like.
Yeah. He's right behind you.
Oh, God.
He's in your walls.
He's in the chat.
That would be cool. It's always nice to get noticed. Thanks, Ian, for buying it. Put some money into their pocket.
Thanks for buying the album that you're on. Oh man, yeah.
So Ian. Sorry, Ian Martin.
I was gonna say he's talking about Martin. I'm pretty sure.
Okay. I'm looking at Bandcamp, and Ian Cowell's picture is there. Supported by, Oh man, that's awesome. Folks. So it is Bandcamp Friday tomorrow, but no reason why you can't go and pre-order right now as well. But yeah, that has been 6-PAK, a classic Sega tribute. Been really fun listening with you guys, chatting you up about it. This sounds amazing. It's such a cool sound production, and just the way you've arranged the tracks as well. Really cool. I want to ask a little bit about the future. There's been some fantasizing here a little bit tonight about performing some of these tracks live. Obviously everybody here is kind of like somewhere different almost. So is there anything currently in the works to make that happen?
I think it'll probably depend on if anybody buys the EP.
Everything's contingent on you guys in chat now tonight.
I mean, kind of. We've definitely. So I think all of us, including you, Josh, have all played with Wario Speedwagon at MagWest, and I think there's a strong lobby to potentially perform at least one of these songs. For me, for anyone who saw that set, we played the song called Possessioner, and it was like our similar sort of like rock finale type thing, which was awesome. But this was like, I think at one point or another I joked that like Racing Hero is our Possessioner, like it's our kind of.
It's not a hentai game.
Rock. Yeah, exactly. Right. It's the finale that you can bring home to your parents.
Oh my.
But yeah, I'd love to perform it. I think that'd be awesome. It'd be great to do the whole EP again. It's a little tough because a lot of realistically, a lot of it was double tracked saxophones, and there's only one of me. But we would figure out a way to make it work, I guess.
I think there's other people that play saxophone in the world. You might be able to find one.
That's true.
Before I had all of you playing with me, what did I do? I had the virtual saxophone, man. I had the backing tracks. Remember, there's always.
That's true. Yeah, we could probably play backing tracks.
Yeah, we find ourselves in the same location maybe once or twice a year. So at some point, I think we can make it happen.
Nice in a hallway.
But nothing to
Gaylord.
Yeah, right. Worst comes to worst, hallway.
Yeah.
But I think we could make it happen.
Definitely.
Yeah, we can do that.
And then obviously, like, you guys are not going to stop collaborating for DoD or any of the other various projects. But do you have anything else in mind that would kind of be similar to this EP and this release?
Shall we go around the horn?
Not that we can speak about. No, just kidding.
NDA'd by yourselves.
If people like this, I have been looking, because there's like Sega has some other songs that are pretty good, and I was thinking maybe kind of chase this high, because it's just good stuff, and even if you haven't really played the games, there's just something special about these Sega songs. And so, we had a lot of fun with this. If we do something else, it'll probably be, we'll probably take a little more time with it, because we definitely were burning the midnight oil to get it done in the end there. But it worked out. It sounds cool, and we're really proud of what we made. I'm really, really thankful for everybody that was involved in this, because honestly, it wouldn't exist without Kev. He was our cheerleader. He was getting us going, and man, it's just been awesome.
Yeah, and shout out to Ian too. He did his parts in I think a week or two before deadline too.
Yeah,
we were just going off
good.
of the shreddage, the VST guitar, and I was like, no, we think we should get Ian on this, and he was like, oh yeah, sure, let's do it.
First time hearing the whole song too. I was going off the old work in progress and stuff, and this is sounding pretty great.
Oh,
and,
nice.
Yeah, no. Also, shout out to Kev, just because Kev brings a lot of us together and is a killer drummer. And I mean, we'd probably all be in the same space anyways. But let's be honest, we're all playing with Kev, and it's a treat. And it's easy to joke about oh, he'll play on your track, or we're all jamming with him. But you are a fountain of knowledge in mixing and arranging, and he'll give you killer drums, killer video. He can just give you stems of all his drum parts. You don't have to do shit. And you still have to work. You can make it sound good, but he is, don't sleep on Mr. Kev. Kev for president. I don't know about that. I don't know what the political meetings
Don't
are,
sleep
but
on him without his consent. Yeah.
I appreciate your endorsement, and I will consider running. No, thanks. Yeah. It was a real pleasure to drum with the EP, and I always like to get on board a project and help move it along, because I know it was Tuck and Joe's ambition to get this out. So I'd like to help in any way I can make it a reality. So if that's drumming, mixing, just making it happen. I know it can be tough, but I was happy to help.
Oh, I do want to say also this, because I just said a lot of nice things about Kev, but also about you two as well. I think if you're going to tackle anything else, I want to see some Konami, not just Sega. I think you guys could do some Konami stuff really, really well. Maybe some Mystical Ninja, some baseball tunes.
Mm-hmm.
So
I've
just
been talking to you about that.
It's been discussed,
but you can't license any of it. That's the thing with this. It was
that's another conversation. Just don't put it up to Game Grooves.
Well, so that's the real question, right? So speaking totally candidly, it is really hard out here for a VGM musician, because a lot of the tunes you want to cover are not licensable. And yeah, you could put stuff out that is not licensable, and lots of people do it. And I'm a copyright.
We're not endorsing it or not endorsing it. It's just,
but we wanted to see what would happen if we found tunes that were licensable, put them out there through a label. I mean, huge props to Alan at Game Groove, for essentially funding this project. I mean, obviously our expenses are minimal, but paying for the licensing, paying for putting it out there, getting it out on all of the streaming services. I mean, it's a tremendous thing that he allows us to do. And if it works out for everybody, if we're welcomed back to do more, we would like to do more. It's nice to be able to think, again, feel like you are putting some money into the pockets of the original composers whose music we really love and appreciate. I think it's really wonderful when you're able to do that. And not that the composers need our 6 cents, but I feel like it's a nice way of paying tribute to, because obviously this EP exists because we have a tremendous amount of nostalgia for Sega games. And it's, trying to pay that back a little bit.
Literally paying tribute.
Right. Maybe do one licensable and then one non-licensable, and then one licensable and then one non. I don't know.
You got Knight, you got Rialta. Yeah. I mean, come
on. Exactly. Good concept.
You got your alto sax and your tenor sax. Come on.
Yeah.
Awesome, guys. Well, thanks so much for coming on to...
Wait, before we wrap, can we quickly, I just have to shout out Tuck's album art, because it's incredible.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Can we talk about the album art?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't believe we skipped that over.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah. Tell us about it, because you did this all on your own, right, Tuck?
Well, I mean, I just basically copied all of the 90s Sega ads. They all kind of look like this around 1993 through 1996. And I was just like, let me make this about as ugly but as beautiful as I possibly can. And I remember I was pulling colors directly from the old ads. So you see the black isn't even really black. It's like a really dark, I don't know,
Yeah,
purple
it's got like
brown
a plum
kind of
thing
thing.
going on.
And it's like ink. It's like print. And then the little Kev Ragone drums thing. I don't know. I needed to pay tribute. So kind of going back a little bit to is within the confines of the EP challenge. It was supposed to be 2 main arrangers, but as this progressed, Kev really became like the third guy, and it felt weird not to try and my best to pay tribute to him on the cover as much as I could. And so I just came up with a little sticker, and oh man, I think Kev really liked that sticker.
Oh yeah. I thought it was so funny.
A lot.
I saw it and I was like, we got to do something with that ESRB rating thing, like, because it's on all those covers. So, look for that sticker on some albums coming up, maybe.
Yeah, we were going to ask if we could use that for some upcoming things as well. Whoever was designing it. So, Tuck, if that's you, do we have approval to also use this? Could we get a ping one time?
Yeah, I think I sent Kev the PNG.
Okay.
The with transparency and everything. It's like it's higher res too. So
nice.
Go for it.
Yeah. I also want to point
official.
out I love tiny details, but even just like the texture of that comic book printed quality to it. Just like something that is printed, you get like that little bit of texture in the colors and stuff like that, and just those little tiny attention to detail things I really appreciate.
Yeah, tiny little bleed and here and there. Yeah, I think that's that the attention to detail blew me away. I mean, Tuck, he pays attention to that. And I feel like one of his great gifts is just his ability to notice that stuff. To find the diamonds in the rough musically, to notice all of the little, textures and details that make things really special and, and hit you in the feels.
Well, listen, I think Joe's understating his ability to also be a major cheerleading factor for me. I bounce things off of him because I want his approval, and I get it, so it works out. And I really like working with Joe Newman, and I was glad we got to make this happen because we've done a lot for DoD, we've done a lot for just random stuff. Now we've played together in live settings twice now, I guess, and it's been a ride. I mean, it's been really, really cool. I like working with him because I don't know, we kind of pull from the same place on a lot of this. It's not just about the games, it's not just about the music, but it's about the way it makes us feel and the places it takes us back to. And honestly, everybody that was involved with this, Jabo, Ian, Kev, kind of the same.
John,
we all have the same approach to that, and it's been really cool. Like, I really like the circle that I've been surrounded with, and so I'm glad that we have something to show for it.
Yeah, couldn't have said it better. Thank you for letting me be a part of it, and as much as a part of it that I wanted to be, you kind of let me. So, yeah, it was a lot of fun. And just that Sega stuff, like you were saying, man, it's special to me. So I was glad to play it. It's not just I won't name drop franchises that are just, everybody covers them, but this stuff.
Just the chemical plant zone of franchises.
Yeah, right, exactly. No chemical plants were found on this album, so it was awesome.
You've now made it my mission to come up with a chemical plant zone arrangement that is so weird that you'll want to play on it.
That I'll approve of it. We'll see.
Yeah, it'll be a tango. It'll be in 6/8 or 9/8.
Okay.
Anyway.
Hey, look, if anybody can do it, Joe can make it fun.
I can make it weird and fun. I don't know. And then someone else can make it good.
Well,
anyway.
Well, you guys have all made it good here tonight. Yeah. So unless there's any other circle jerking or shout outs that
anyone want to plug anything?
Yeah. What's coming
up? We're actually going to be seeing Kev next week. And Virginia, Tuck's going to be there too, I believe. Ultranova. Where is it at? Crescendo Studios in Falls Church. It's Ultranova Rebirth, which also coincides with today, which is Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which Kev and I are probably going to go play once this is done.
It's installed, baby.
It's ready to go. Kev is going to be playing with Byscore, so if you want to see more Kev action, and we'll be talking about 6-packs, so come hang out. The three of us will be sitting here talking about this great EP, which you should get because tomorrow is Bandcamp Friday. Get it. Get this record. Support them. Support Game Grooves. Support the original artists. Donate $10, $15, $38 to the arts today. Ain't that right, Josh?
That's what we say over here. Yeah, 38.
38.
Oh gosh. All right. Any other happenings? Anything else?
We probably can't reveal it for at least another hour, but there may be a DoD track that may or may not feature some or all of us, and that will be a thing. What?
Huh?
What did you say, Carrie?
Don't worry about me. Shut up, Joe.
Just don't worry about it for an hour.
Oh, okay. So that's a thing, and this is kind of exciting. So in 2 weeks or 3 weeks at GDC, there's the Game Audio Network Guild Awards, and a track that actually 2 tracks that Tuck and I worked on, Supernova and In the Donk. For DoD are up for Remix of the Year, which is really, really cool.
Hell yeah. I knew it.
See how that goes. I get to go, put on a fancy this shirt and and hang out, and then we'll all get drunk, and it'll be fun.
Hell yeah. I called it.
That's awesome.
I knew you had some good news coming up, and I'm like, I bet you it's going to be an award for In the Donk.
Well, no, we're just nominated. I don't know if we're going to win or not.
Well, you know what I mean. It being noticed for its greatness.
Mm-hmm. And I have a quick...
Oh, yeah.
Oh, go ahead. I was just going to do a quick plug. I don't have the complete details, but one of the bands I play in called Super Strikers with Stemage and Dino and Steve APAK, we're premiering a brand new music video next week, actually exclusively on Crunchyroll on Tuesday.
Whoa.
But yeah, I'll be sure to post about that, and then when it's more accessible, I'll be posting it everywhere. But yeah, it's like to reveal some new music and some new video.
Hell yeah.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Is Crunchyroll getting a gimmick series?
I cannot reveal.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm not sure how that came about, but yeah, pretty interesting.
That's
but,
awesome.
Yeah, that's the word. So I'll be sure to share the details about that.
Right on. Well,
Josh, what about you?
What about me? Well, if I've got anything to plug, folks, we're going to be having another Let's Listen next Thursday for Balkan Bleeps. He is a Seattle artist who combines chiptune and traditional Balkan instruments and styles. We're also going to be having, I've been a little bit behind on my announcements, but we're going to be having the first actual Music Online of 2024 next Saturday on March 9th as well, or March, yeah, no, it is March 9th. And that is going to be an all guitar special feature. It's going to be Amanda Lepre, a real woman, and a bunch of dudes. So I'm just calling out the demographic for what it is. Thank you,
That's
Amanda,
actually
for
this
being
conversation too.
Our badge of diversity. But I'm really excited about that. So we're going to be featuring all artists playing guitar. We're going to talk a little bit more in depth about the instrument and how you apply it to video game music, etc. It should be a good time. And yeah, I don't know. I've if you want to stay up to date with anything that Bonus Stage is doing, the best place to go to is bonusstage.ca. That is where we have all the stuff up to date. I've been a little lax on social media because I'm just fatigued as fuck with it. So yeah, go there if you want any details on what we're up to. We're going to have a couple more announcements coming out in the next week or so as well. And then we'll be at VGM Con to host the Warp Stage there, which should be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to hang out with lots of good friends there, and yeah, having another stage, a bonus stage at the VGM Con called the Warp Stage, and they're all stages. So yeah, thank you everybody for tuning in tonight. Yeah, we'll be back next Thursday, same time, same place, and you guys have all been wonderful to talk to as well. Thanks for being here thank
Thank you, Josh.
Thank you for having us
so much.
All right, folks, we'll tune out. So we'll see you next time. Bye bye.
Bye.